guys, my name's Anthony Edge from Edge Academy here in San Diego. We're here on our 9th haircut now. Okay, we just wanted to do lots of haircuts while we're all in lockdown and at home. So we just wanted to share with you previous collections. So we're on to a collection called Class of 74 from 2018. It's a collection what me and Gloria came out with. It's all inspired from the 70s, different era, from music and fashion and trends. And we got inspired by a yearbook. Alright, so our previous haircut was from that, which we did a really nice square kind of graduation. So we're moving on from the square graduation now into a rounded graduation. Alright, so the technique today, what we're going to do is more like a rounded graduation. And this is the technique what we're going to be working from. Alright, so our model went for a massive change. She had long hair, blonde, and then all of a sudden it was a little bit of a difference. So really working with a focal point at the fringe, working more of a rounded graduation within the nape area, and then as you can see on a great profile there as well, working on that kind of shape as well. Alright, so working on a little bit more of a rounded kind of feeling to it. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing. The sectioning pattern is pretty simple with this haircut. It's working with a large diamond section. Okay, so what you do, you literally put a centre parting in, then you do a radial from crown to ear, and then you basically take out 4 triangles. So you do a triangle, 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 and triangle, and you create a diamond within the crown. So that's what we've done. So you can see like you literally got a diamond section within this crown area. How big your diamond, how small your diamond, depends on the density of the client's hair and also the size of your client's head shape. Alright, so these are like little things to take into consideration, because do you want to layer it more? Do you want to create more texture? Do you want to work on a rounded graduation but make it more modern, make it a bit more funkier? Then if you want to make it a little bit more textured and more funkier, that means you want to end up creating more layers. Alright, so that means your diamond might go bigger. Alright, the bigger the diamond, the more weight you're going to take out, the more layering you're going to create. The smaller the diamond, then it might be working on like finer hair, okay, or a smaller head shape. So these are like little tricks to look out for. If you didn't want any layers in there, then you wouldn't even place a diamond in there in the first place. Okay, so we're going to use the fringe from our previous haircut as a guide, and we're going to literally work on like a nice little rounded kind of shape. Alright, so I'm going to mirror that kind of diamond. So we're going to start in the temple area. So we'll start at the temple area and the sides. And we're literally going to work diagonal back sections, parallel to that kind of diamond. We're going to clip that out of the way. And then I'll probably stay there, probably like that. And then we're going to comb down to a natural form. So to a natural form. We're going to take this nice and tight and short. Okay, and then literally working parallel. So really kind of tight into the hairline there. Okay, so 1 finger's depth of elevation. So I'm working like above the ear, as you can see, like taking that real tight. And then I'm going to work diagonally. So I'll just get a camera angle there. So I'll set that on there. And clip out that on the way. And then bring that down to, again, natural fall. So the distribution, the way I'm combing it, is natural fall. My elevation is bringing it down to 1 finger's depth of elevation. I'm just working in front of the ear, and I'm cutting it parallel to the parting. Now what I'll do is just literally just tidy that up around the hairline. Okay, just tidy that up around the hairline, just to make that a little bit stronger. Okay, if you want to cut it just a little bit over the ear, do you want to make a bit of softness? Again, that all comes down to your consultation from your client's needs. Alright, and then once you've done that, you're going to literally just carry on now introducing some of that front section now. So you're going to go diagonal, introducing some of the front hairline. Combing that down. And then you'll comb natural fall. 1 finger's depth of elevation. Parallel to the parting. And then you're going to start to introduce some of this as the fringe. So you're going to go working round that kind of front hairline now. All blunt, but again, if you're working on a thicker hair or curly hair, you might want a point cut. So my elevation is 1 finger's depth. distribution is natural form, and I'm cutting it parallel to the parting. So I've just broken it down into those kind of elements to make it a bit easier for everyone to understand. Okay, so again, back at the same kind of process. Natural form. One finger step. Bringing it all down to that stationary guide we first put in. Okay, so we're happy with that. Right, and what I'm going to do here now, I'm just going to concentrate on this front section, like the fringe area, like everything in front of the ear. So everything which is in front of the ear, we're literally going to concentrate. So we're just literally combing everything down to its natural form. One finger's depth. Just want to get sure this is absolutely bang on. Alright, just making sure that we're perfect through this shape. And now we're going to do exactly the same now on the opposite side. So you don't concentrate on the back or anything, we're just literally just focusing on that front section. So now we'll just do it on the opposite side, and we're going to start at the temple area, put the guideline in, and then everything's coming down onto that guideline, and then we'll start to introduce the front section as the fringe again. So, front profile. As you can see, look, we'll just clip the back out the way, so we're just literally working in front of the radial, just literally in front of the ear, and then take the hair. So it's parallel to the section, and then this is one finger's depth of elevation, nice and tight. Okay, so taking that nice and tight, one finger's depth. And then diagonal back sections. Natural form. Okay, exactly the same kind of idea. And then if you want to, you can tidy up around the hairline, necessary. And we're going to start to introduce some of that front section now. So what you're going to do then, you're going to connect it in with the opposite side of the fringe. If you wanted to work something asymmetric with the fringe, you could do. You could make this a little bit offset if you wanted to make it a little bit different. So one side could be slightly longer than the other. And then coming round, and then you can start to see that you're coming round into the fringe. Okay, and there's your guide. And there's your little point from your triangle, and you, from your diamond, should I say. So there's your little diamond, and then you're just literally just going to cut that off. Okay, but if you wanted a fringe going into a point or a little bit asymmetric, you know, you could just customise and detail and have a bit of fun just through that front section if you wanted to. But the main kind of goal here is just working parallel to the parting. So everything is parallel to the parting. Distribution, yeah, natural form, elevation, one finger's depth. You just bring everything down. And I'm just using the smaller scissors from Edge. These are the 6.25s because they're just want to work when I work on like blunt and precision haircuts. I personally like to work on a smaller blade just to have a little bit more control. You know, some of you have seen some of our videos before. You might have seen us using the 7s. Okay, that's kind of nice to use, but you know, it's nice to know when you can use certain different blades. And then, you know, just tidying up around that hairline. You know, things like this might be done on a real client when it's dry. So then you can start to move the client's ears and start to tidy up wherever necessary. And you start to see that kind of shape. And then you look on straight on, and then you've got a little wide and a little bowly fringe. Okay, and that's what we've created there. This nice little rounded kind of feeling through the front. Okay. Also, if you wanted to, this is where you maybe want to blow dry it. You know, you might want to get a cushion brush, a Denman, and you might want to dry it and detail it. If a client turns around and says it's too bowly, it's too heavy, you might want to break that up a little bit. You could layer it a little bit. Again, these are all customizing ideas if you wanted to. Okay, let's move on. Alright, so the back area now. So take the clips out the back, Okay, and then we're going to work underneath the diamond at the back. So if you look at that now, and you know, this is a haircut in itself. Some people might look at that and say, love the wide fringe, and then you might want longer, just through the back area. Okay, so what we've done here then, now we've just got the diamond section, as you can see. So it goes into a diamond, and now we're going to work underneath the diamond. And we're going to take off these corners. Okay, so the previous haircut was worked on a square graduation. So now we're going to work on a rounded graduation. Okay, so we're literally going to stand on the side. Okay, and I'm going to literally work from the guidelines. So I'm going to start in the tape behind the ear, and I'm just going to literally work parallel to the parting and work on a rounded shape. So I'm going to work diagonal. Might not be a lot coming off on the first couple of sections prior to the previous haircuts we've done on this mannequin, but we'll take you through the actual technique. So you can see the shorter piece at the top of the ear. My elevation now is going to be at a 45 degrees, and I'm going to 45 degree it, working parallel to the part, and taking that really tight in there as well. I'm taking it as close as I can, right to the hairline. Okay. So there's a little bit coming off our first section, and then we're literally just working diagonal back, get the hair, put that out of the way so you get a nice parting to see, parallel to the parting, so you're combing from underneath, 45 degrees of elevation, so you're combing from underneath, and then your 45 degree elevation, okay, so you've got that one finger touching, and then you on the first section getting it really tight, and then you've got that 45 degree elevation. And when you stop doing 45 is literally when you're getting underneath the occipital bone. Okay, so you just literally, this is probably my last 45 here. I'm just going to go right underneath the O bone, okay, and then clip that out the way, like so, and then I comb from underneath, comb on top, see the guide. Distribution is natural fall. Okay, so more of a rounded kind of shape to it, and then above the O bone you bring it all down to a stationary 45. So you're bringing it all down to that stationary guideline now. What that is building up weight. So you're creating a bit more of a weight line. So what's graduation is the build up of weight. It's getting heavier and heavier. If I carried on and just carried on going like this would be 90, and this would be coming off the head 90. So making sure that it's coming down to its natural fall, but we're bringing everything down now onto a stationary 45. Okay, working more of a rounded shape all the way through, so it's a rounded graduation. Okay. And you know who was very iconic? Like we're doing the class of '74. There was a lot of iconic people with a little bowly, hurdy, rounded graduation back in the 70s. And you know, Dorothy Hamel was a massive inspiration. You know, like from the 70s with this haircut, a figure skater. All right, and you know, there's a lot of people out there who probably go, oh yeah, there's a lot of different iconic people with a rounded graduation. If you wanted to create it more of a wedge, and you wanted to create more of a little bit of a build up there, instead of going across the head, you would just stop into the middle, working parallel to the diamond, and then you create like a little wedge if you wanted to. But we're going across and across to make it more of a rounded and a bit more softer to the shape today. Okay, so let's go on to the opposite side. Okay, we'll just do exactly the same now. So as you can see, there's the guideline. What we're going to do, we're literally going to go diagonal backs. Out of the way. Take this nice and tight. There's the guide, and then literally all the way down into the hairline. Continue working diagonal back sections, combing the hair down to a natural fall, elevation 45 degrees, cutting parallel to the parting. And what that means, cutting parallel to the parting, means my fingers are parallel to my parting. So my parting there, my fingers are going to be parallel to that. I'm going to comb it down natural form. And then now they come, like we said before, on the opposite side. You literally work 45 degrees underneath the occipital bone. And when you start to get above the O bone and start to work within the crown section, that's when we're going to start to bring our elevation to a stationary 45. Okay, and then our last section here, just combing it down. Knocking off that corner. And then this is where you can just literally just tidy up the hairline wherever necessary. So I'm going to tidy that up. Some clients might want that really strong through that hairline. Well, that means you could introduce some scissor over comb. You could scissor over comb in here. What that's going to do is going to bring out that weight line even more. So again, if the client wants it really strong and edgy, then, you know, to bring that weight line even more, you could take this even tighter within this nape and take this scissor over comb if you wanted to. Again, that all comes down to customization. If you wanted it to take it really, really tight. You know, we worked on a really nice colour placement. Gloria did some beautiful colours within that collection. So we had a nice colour placement in there as well, to really emphasise kind of the weight line, what we did. Alright, so just tidying up around that hairline. And then again, working, you know, like, because it's a mannequin head, you have a square kind of hairline here, but what we did a little bit on the perimeter, we did the perimeter a little bit more rounded as well on our actual model. You know, this is where you can have a bit of fun with clients' perimeters. If the hair wants to go into like a little concave, a little rounded shape, a little V, you could play around with the perimeter kind of shape if necessary. Okay. And I just want to make sure we're 100% happy with any of that. Put a bit there. Pretty much there with a little weight line and a little roundness to it. So you can start to see that where it's sitting on the camera angle. You can start to see that kind of thing going through. Alright, so a little rounded kind of shape going through there. So now what we do, we literally disconnect to make something a little bit more funkier. So you're turning a nice classic haircut into something a little bit more modern. Alright, because if a client said I want to keep it all rounded, you just bring everything down onto that guideline. But what we did within the diamond, we made it a little bit more, you know, salon friendly, should I say. Our model was only a teenager and she loved it. So we want to make sure that, you know, it suits all age groups. When we bring out a collection every year, our collection is only successful when hairdressers fall in love with it, and also consumers. Because we bring out a collection, but we also think about what would a normal client or a consumer think about this shape, this blow dry, this image. Because we want to bring out a collection, and I personally feel that a great collection hits both markets. It's not just made for the hairdresser. Alright, so we wanted to make sure that, you know, people would love this shape as well. Because if no one likes the actual shape or the collection, then it's not successful for us. Alright, so we're going to do like a mohawk section all the way through the middle, about as wide as the comb, a little section all the way through, centre profile section, literally everything out on the base, and we're going to layer it. So how short do you take it? Again, that all comes down to your client's needs. We want to put point cut, so I'm going to change my scissors. I'm going to use a 7-inch scissor just to give me a bit more texture through there. I just want a point cut now. So what I'm going to bring it off the base, and I'm going to literally point cut through for a bit of texture. Nice and choppy. And we're going to follow the head shape. So everything's 90. So anybody out there, it's like a round layer, okay? So it's rounded to the head shape, everything out on the base, 90, okay? And then what we're going to do now, we're just going to bring everything on the base, okay? So it's not pulled into the middle, it's just everything is on the base, okay? So it's on the base. And we're just literally working within that diamond section. And you might think, oh, where is his diamond? All right, because the hair underneath is cut shorter, yeah, I didn't need to clip the underneath out the way. All right, if this was left longer, then I'd have to clip all underneath diamond. But as you can see, look, when I comb all that hair up now to the diamond, all the short pieces don't reach. All right, so that's where, you know, I'm just literally combing the longer bits really. All right, because what the trick is I don't want to cut the diamond really, really short. I want it to be like a little longer, moppier kind of thing, feeling. I don't want to go mega short in the top. I want it to be a little bit, I want it to be a bit wiggy kind of feeling to it. Okay, and then you do exactly the same on the opposite side. And then this is an option then as well, if you want to create an undercut. You know, and this is when if you're working on a different density of hair. So if I was doing this technique on thicker hair, curlier hair, then the disconnection which is going to happen in a minute once we've layered it, do you leave it or do you connect it in? Again, it all comes down to your client's needs and your density of your client's hair. So in this case, just everything on that base, point cutting through, following the head shape so it's rounded, so knocking off that little corner there. Nice and point cut and soft. So look, when I shake that out now, you can see those like longer pieces falling over. So you see that longer pieces there, you know, and a little bit longer at the back. That's kind of nice if you were doing this on curly hair. That's kind of a nice kind of little way of literally styling it, because you've got a nice little veil if you're curling it and you're scrunching it and diffusing it. It's kind of a nice kind of idea to do. And then if you felt like, oh no, my client's got smoother hair, so he's going to blow dry it, then you literally just eliminate those longer pieces. So what we're going to do is just going to go back in and we're just going to eliminate some of those longer pieces. Alright, and again this all comes down to customization. You know, what you see and what I see are always going to be a little bit different. But we've basically just wanted to put in a little layering pattern all the way through there, just to give a bit of softness. So I'm just going to comb that down. And then just to give me a bit more softness, I'm going to point cut it. Just that last section over the top. Just give it a little bit more softness, make it a little bit more in today's world. It's nice to take inspiration from the 70s, but I don't want to create a 70s haircut. A 70s haircut has already been done, you know, and worked. And if I created something like the Dorothy Hamel or something from the 70s, people would turn around and say, oh, my mum had that haircut, or my grandma or my auntie had that haircut, and I don't want it. All right, so how do I make the modern twist? How do I make it a little bit more to current to this world? So maybe introducing a bit of point cutting, introducing a layer, introducing a different product in the hair as well. Okay. Okay, so final little bits. Just combing it all down. Just a little bit of point cutting just through there. Just taking off that little veil in a way. Move that around, really nice and moppy. And what I love about this haircut as well, it's very unisexed, you know. This collection we came out with the 70s, it was the year before we came out with like last year's collection, which was all about gender neutral and non-binary. And we felt like, you know, I know a lot of guys have had this haircut. If you're in a band or you're a musician or an artist, you know, there's a lot of guys who've had this as well, you know. Think of like the 60s even with the Beatlemania and things like that. You know, you could start to see a little inspiration there, longer versions of it, a little bit top heavy. Okay. Alright, so that is the haircut done. Alright, it's a little rounded graduation, a little bit of a mop top, you know, a little bit moppy, a little bit heavy, a little bit broken up. Styling wise, it's honestly up to you how you style it really. You know, even just shaking it through like that looks kind of a bit more modern, a little bit fresher. You know, if the fringe is a bit too solid, just break it up a little bit, like so. Give it a little bit of broken up. You could even break that up even a little bit more if necessary. But the inspiration was from the 2018 collection called Class of 74. Alright, so it was the haircut called the Cherie. Alright, so the haircut called the Cherie. Really strong, kind of strong fringe. rounded graduation, and then obviously working on the back and on the sides. All right, so just a little recap. It's a diamond section. Diamond section was layered all rounded to the head. There's a little round, giving more texture, and then working with the fringe, going 1 finger's depth of elevation on the sides, working parallel to the parting, and working everything as a little bit more of a bowlier shape. Master the front. Then you go into the back area, and then we just knock off the corner of graduation to work in a little bit more of a rounded feeling. And if you wanted it more wedgy, then you just literally create more weight in the middle. But hope you like it. All right, thanks very much for your time, and check out our Instagram and YouTube for more haircuts. Thank you.